Welcome everybody. I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Instead of doing a gameplay playthrough. Here are some early game tips to help you out get started in this little game where you're terraforming a planet that for some reason, I can understand why people, I hear people frequently calling this Mars, but the game never says it's Mars, it's just another planet of some sort. So here we are, we've arrived in our kit pod here. You've got some basic supplies in here. Now I've set up this world for the purposes of this video. I've configured the world to not have the need to eat or run out of oxygen. And I unlocked free building so I can just show you stuff more easily. Therefore I have a jetpack. You won't have that at the beginning of the game. But here's some important things you are going to want to know. First of all, you need to make sure you've got... Actually, you know what? I'll show you real quick. On the terraformation screen here. You've got three factors you want to be raising. Oxygen, heat, and pressure. Make pressure by building drills. Heat with heaters and oxygen with these vegetubes. Now you put these seeds in here and it starts to produce. Make sure you've got every seed in your possession in a vegetube as quickly as possible so you can have these numbers start to go up. They will continually go up over time, so the sooner you have them built, the better. Now another thing I noticed that when I was playing through this the first time is I worried about wasting resources because you've got all these minerals laying around and you don't want to waste them on consumables if you don't have to. So I tended to conserve it. Now this one here, cobalt. You can use 2 cobalts to build 1 oxygen tank. So that you can refill your oxygen while you're away from base. You don't need a whole lot of cobalt as it turns out. I was holding back from doing this, but you don't need a lot of it. So honestly, feel free to go ahead and make those oxygen tanks. Those consumable refills, do not worry about it. However, on the other hand, there's a way to get around needing them. So, at the beginning you're only going to have, I think, about 60 seconds worth of oxygen. You can't get very far with that. But here's a trick I found out. Just going into one of these base rooms will refill your oxygen very quickly. And you don't need to build anything special to supply them. So, a trick I developed to minimize having to use portable, consumable oxygen tanks. This is the entire build menu, by the way. Of course, you're not going to have all this at the beginning. So, living compartment is 2 irons and 1 titanium. And a door is an iron, a titanium, and a silicon. So for 3 iron, 2 titaniums, and 1 silicon, you can build little portable way stations. For example, let's say I went over here and I'm starting to run out of oxygen, let's say. Build a living compartment. Build a door so you can get into it. Hop inside, boom, your oxygen's refilling. No matter where you are. As long as you're not underwater. Get to that in a minute. So, when you're wandering around and you're going somewhere new, keep an eye out. This is what titanium looks like. That's magnesium. We don't need that for this. This is iron. And what was it? Silicon. Silicon looks like this weird little piece of used chewing gum here. While you're exploring, keep an eye out, pick up 3 irons, 2 titaniums, 1 silicon, and then when you need to, slap that down. Oh, we're having a meteor storm. That happens sometimes. There's an achievement if you let one hit you. But you'll probably be dead. So, maybe don't worry about that. So that was my next tip there. Alright. 2 last quick tips to get you started. One of them is very important, which is where you want to build your initial base. Now that's entirely up to you. Also keep in mind there's these little crates lying around that will have goodies in them. Oh, like these. These will unlock new blueprints for you. I can't demonstrate properly because I unlocked all blueprints by default for the purposes of this. But you want those. Whenever you find one of those blue blueprint chip thingies, grab it. But where do you build your beginning base? Well, logically you would want to build it, or your initial guess at least would be to build it near where you've come out, so that you can have a base right where you are. But that's not necessarily a great idea, because a big part of this game is terraforming. And eventually that means bringing water to the planet. Let me show you the terraformation screen real quick. Get the progress screen. Oops, I've run myself out of power. Hold on. Okay, so all your terraformation goes in these stages. It shows you where you are now and where the next one will be, with a percentage of how close you're getting to it. I just started, so I'm nowhere. Basically, bringing up these three numbers will add up to a total terraformation index. And the higher that goes, the higher this goes. So after blue sky, we start getting clouds, and then rain, and then standing water on the planet. Eventually, lakes. Now you might notice, out of all the land we can see from where we are right now, we are on the lowest part of it. So, do not build your base down here. Or at least build a small base, maybe, if you feel like it, under the understanding that you will need to deconstruct it and move it, because this is going to be a lake later. Let me show you where the edge of it will be. There's more meteors. Okay. So, alright, the spot I'm standing here right now is going to be the edge of the lake. This is going to be how high it gets. Nearly up this slope, but not quite. And you're going to be needing to build a lot of little algae farms and stuff like that on the water. So this is a good spot for that. Now here, up here is a great spot for a base. Anywhere around here that you might feel like it. Be creative with it. But anywhere around here, of course you got these rocks in the way, but lots of flat land here, plus you can build upwards with multiple levels if you want. You don't have to build everything directly on the ground. In fact, you can build stuff on the roof of your base if you want as well, with a staircase. Whatever you like. Also, another reason this is a good spot for a base is there are early game resources that you will want. For example, this cave over here with these sand falls is an important spot because this is where you get a rare resource called iridium. Alright, I'm gonna make the best power generator in the game just so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, here, this item right here, ore extractor. This is very important to have. Build it in an area and it will automatically start extracting stuff. Now you see we got a symbol for iridium down at the bottom there. That's what a piece of iridium ore looks like. So what this is going to do, and it takes a while to unlock this by the way, so this should be a goal for you. Because you can find some freestanding pieces of iridium just laying around. For example, here we go, here's some. But that's finite. That'll run out. So you build this, and you can get theoretically infinite amount of iridium over time. However, it takes a little while before it starts producing anything, and it will produce the iridium, but also the 4 basic minerals as well. So it'll make iron, titanium, magnesium, and silicone. Oh, actually also cobalt. So 5 basic, plus the iridium. So there's 6 different ores it can create. And every time it creates an ore, it will be a random one. I don't remember how long it takes to produce each one, but... Also, you need osmium to make these, which is a rare resource. I'll show you how to get those in another video later, if you're interested. If you enjoyed this one, let me know in a comment. But you want to make one of these ore extractors in each of these areas. This is the only place... Actually, there might be one other place to get iridium, but I think it's even harder to get to. So if I build it out here, for example... See, it just shows a chunk of... I think that's supposed to be what iron looks like in your inventory. Deconstruct that. So whenever it says one of those basic resources, it means you're just going to get your basic resources and nothing extra fancy. Now I'll show you a couple other spots real quick. If you fly around the edge of this, or run, because you won't have a jetpack at the beginning. But I'm using my jetpack because it'll be faster. There's another cave over here. It contains an important resource. Now this is a resource you can actually create artificially, but it's difficult. Especially in the set because it costs other rare resources. So let me just go back outside for a second. It's this cave here. In sight of that crash. Zoom in here. And this place contains something called super alloy. So you want to build an ore extractor here as well. Make sure you've got... Oops, that's the wrong symbol. I'm not sure why I'm not getting the super alloy symbol here. Worked for me before. Maybe they patched it out so that you can't mine it anymore? I am not sure. But either way, come to this cave, pick up these super alloys. If you need to, you can make your own. It requires 1 iron, 1 magnesium, 1 titanium, 1 silicon, 1 cobalt, and 1 aluminum. Now aluminum is rare though, so that's the part that makes it difficult. I'll show you where to get aluminum reliably. You can usually get some scrap aluminum inside these wrecks. There's a lot of goodies in there. But once you've run out of that aluminum source, there's a renewable spot, which is over here. So just as a reminder, we started down there. This is the spot where I said that you should build a base, ideally. Also, it's we can't see the map right now because you have to build and launch a mapping GPS satellite to get a map of the game. But this is actually the center point of the whole map, which also makes it good because you can get all sorts of places relatively quickly. Now this area is called Aluminum Hills. There's a bunch of freestanding aluminum, looks like this. A spiky little boy lying around this place. And your ore extractor. There we go, shows aluminum. And one last resource to show you real quick. more of a trip here, but if we come over here, past the, we're going east, go past the aluminum hills, and up this little hill here, we'll find a desert area. Also, this cool looking guy. Now, if we zoom over here, there's one last important resource relatively early in the game. You won't need a ton of it at first, but we'll need more and more over time, as we have a uranium mine. Now, if we make it to... Oh, yeah. Tier 2 ore extractor extracts rarer ores from the ground. So let me just test something real quick. Okay, yeah, that's showing iron now, too. That's why... I forgot about that. That's why we couldn't get the super alloy from the other place, because we need the tier 2 extractor for that. Also, this has more storage. See, now it's showing uranium. But late in the game, you can unlock the tier 3 extractor. But you can tell it. Select the type of item to extract. Uranium. Well, I guess you can get sulfur in here too. Uranium. So, this one, like the tier 1, will produce all of the 5 basic minerals plus uranium. The tier 2 does it faster than the tier 1 and has more storage. But the tier 3, we've told it to produce uranium, so it's going to produce only uranium and nothing else. So it's much more efficient and much more useful. But like I said, it's a late game thing. It's going to take you a long time to be able to do that. But those are my early game tips. To get you started with Planet Crafters. Let me know if you like this, and I can show you how to get to some more advanced some more advanced material gathering sites, such as where we get this osmium from. Osmium, sulfur, and 1 or 2 other things perhaps. Bye-bye.